House rules. Each speaker has 5 minutes. The first and last minutes are protected. The judge will ring a bell to signal the protected time. The bell will ring continuously after 5 minutes.
The government should increase funding for wildlife conservation efforts to protect endangered species. Our house is Uganda Wildlife Authority, which was established by the government of Uganda under the Wildlife Act Cap 200 to manage wildlife and conserve it. Its aims and objectives are teamwork, customer care, professionalism, and commitment to conserve, and which we are going to focus on in tonight's debate. Our parameters are Uganda in reference to the rest of the world. Our funders are Ministry of Finance under the government of Uganda, but also donations and grants from non-government organizations. Definition of the key terms are: wildlife conservation is a preservation and protection of animals, plants, and their habitats. Endangered species are species of animals or plants that are seriously at risk of extinction. Status quo: according to the Uganda Wildlife Authority website, Uganda, wildlife is protected by the government on behalf and for the benefit of the people of Uganda. Uganda is one of the world's top 10 most biodiverse countries that hold many endangered species, in which we have 10 national parks, 13 game reserves, as well as 5 community wildlife management centers. The most endangered species include the mountain gorillas, where Uganda has 400 of the 700. We look at the African lion. We look at the 144 lions that are in Uganda. We look at the rhinos that were 700 in the 1960s but had dropped to 0, but currently we have 17. We look at the chimpanzees that are left, that are 200,000 in Africa. However, all these are at the verge of extinction because of deforestation, road accidents, encroachment, poisoning from the locals, killings from the locals. Look at a point. It was reported that Lake Mbalala lost all its lions in the 2000 because of the poisoning of the locals. The greatest issue at hand is that wildlife has moved to private lands. The Wildlife Guide.com states that the studies in Uganda and Southwest, for example, direct wildlife is on private land, which means that it's competing with animals and it's destroying crops on the agricultural lands. We want to tell in the case of point that Uganda Wildlife Authority does not have authority on private lands, which leaves the wildlife unprotected, which leaves the wildlife at a risk of extinction. So the question in tonight's debate is, why do we need the funds? To ensure afforestation together with the National Forest Authority, to ensure laws against poaching, to involve private landowners, to resettle extra population around game reserves, to harmonize with the local community, to sensitize the community about the importance of wildlife. In all our speeches, we shall show you the effectiveness of more funds, the effectiveness of the tourism, how it will boost tourism, improve the climate, not granted, and protect both wildlife and human life, among others. It should be noted that an estimation of 100,000 people each year come to see mountain gorillas and chimpanzees. In addition, with the increment in the funds, our processes shall be quickened. In 2 years' time, we had told you our funders, we had told you our house. In the first phase of our first year, we shall locate private owners, landowners, and liaise them with better ways on how to coexist. In the second phase of our first year, we shall locate land and resettle extra population around game reserves. In the second year, we shall deploy more security in areas with game reserves, increase their salaries, enforce laws against poaching. The laws are there, but we shall enforce them. In the second phase of our year 2, we shall harmonize with the local community and combat their losses. So, we should not forget that conserving endangered species is going to boost tourism, and tourism generates income and creates accessible training opportunities and jobs. In addition, tourism in Uganda is an increasingly important contribution to its economy. The 1.5 international tourists The arrivals, combined with a growing number of domestic tourists, generated 7.75% of the GDP and 6.7% of total national employment in 2018. Hence, the need to protect this species, which the Ugandan tourism sector greatly depends. I beg to rest my case.
Thank you. From Kyambogo College, this team negative. The first affirmative stated that their house is UWA. The very first controversy to the motion at hand. UWA is a government agency, and they named the aims of UWA. You realize that they have not told us whether UWA has failed or UWA has succeeded. So therefore, UWA has succeeded. If UWA has succeeded, why do they need the funds? Because they are not telling us where the gaps are. And then their status quo has issues. Yes, we accept that Uganda is where we are supposed to put our focus. But if of the 700 mountain gorillas that did exist from time immemorial, we right now have 400. How did we preserve them? We expected 0. If at all these animals are at the state of extinction, 17 rhinos, that is beautiful. How many does Kenya have? And our rivals, we are keeping them. Since when did we have 17? How many have died since UWA came in place? So see, the problem is not there at hand that they are solving. They're talking about deforestation. How many animals rejected? How many animals that need such protection have been displaced? They have not told us. How many of them have been killed by locals? Instead, we've seen lions eat people. How many communities eat lions in Uganda?
Point of information.
So, rejected. Wildlife has been privatized. That's what they have stated. If wildlife has been privatized, why is it that they are talking about bodies like UWA? They mentioned national parks here, game parks, game reserves. Which private company owns game parks in this country? So I don't understand where Team Affirmative is taking this debate.
POI.
I'll take it.
Do you know the number of lions that have been killed between 2000 and 2008?
No, you're supposed to tell me that. So they tell me that why they are having this, why they need these funds is because they are going to do afforestation. Jesus Christ, are we rehabilitating Mabira Forest? The motion is about endangered species. They say they are going to sensitize the community. But about what?
POI.
Rejected? They say they'll protect the wildlife and the people. How? Who is under threats here? Who has died? Whom are they going to relocate? When because of the ECOP project, the people who have been relocated up to now have not been compensated. How are they going to relocate? How much are they needing from the government? That is why now for us as Team Negative, we are coming in to say that no. The matter at hand is different. UWA has money. The Uganda Wildlife Authority has been financed, and the endangered species, yes, we have to protect them. Because we know the importance they have contributed to our GDP and to the tourism at large. So we are conceding to the fact that we need to protect these species. But we're now telling you that according to the latest national budget, 89 billion Ugandan shillings was released to what? To tourism. That was not enough. Actually, the Minister of State for Finance, according to the Daily Monitor of the recent past, that is June, the Minister of Finance requested for more funds, and Cabinet released more funds. And what we are saying here is, Cabinet released more funds, which amounts to a total of now 220 billion. To what? To the tourism sector. Do you know why this money was released? Because Cabinet realized that we have endangered species. So why should we increase money where money has already been released? Help me understand. We are going to be extravagant. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have debts. We have things that need financing. Are we going to make a gorilla access free health services and a mother is dying in a hospital? We are not saying that gorillas are more important. We are just trying to say that they have been given the money. And are you going to give the money to the gorilla? Say, Mr. Gorilla,
point of
here
information.
is your money. Now, go and treat yourself and don't die young. No. You're going to give this money to people. People are corrupt. Uganda, only second to Nigeria, is a very corrupt economy.
Point of information.
So, for us, we are suggesting that let us fight corruption. And we are saying we are going to fight corruption using the following agencies. Because they already exist, this is going to be a free method. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Office of the Auditor General, and all such as my following speakers in my team shall emphasize. This shall help. And if we ascertain the problem, how the money has been used by the tourism sector and by UA. After stating how they have been using it, then we shall choose whether to increase or to lower. But for as far as now, there is no accountability. And they have not even told us how much they need. Okay, let's say they need 30 trillions. They want 30 trillion. They want 30 trillion. That means we are going to be broke. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, so for us, we are saying there are other cost-benefit things. There are things which should take our attention right now. We cannot invest all this money when we have insecurity in the country. Poachers are encroaching our game parks. We'd rather empower other sectors.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.